Beautiful day. Keep them coming.
Yeah. I've noticed you've been trying to keep the energy up and make sure there's a lot of energy at practice. I guess just why is that important, knowing the atmosphere that you guys are about to take the field in?
Well, I think it's important because it's a privilege to be playing baseball this week. And I think it's something when you're at a great program like LSU, sometimes you can take it for granted, but 300 plus teams start the year. There's only 64 playing. There's only 16 playing at home. And if you sense it from me, I'm excited to be playing here and coaching these guys. They've had a great season, and it's an awesome opportunity, and want to keep it going.
Having gone on the road last year, I guess, what's it mean to you to be here?
Yeah, I think having hosted obviously here in 23, hosted at Arizona before, hosting at San Diego before, there's a lot of benefit to it. I think you get somewhat routine. It's a little different with the tournament format and all that, and I think routine is good. Familiarity is good for players. Obviously the fans, that's good. If I remember right, last year, after playing 5 games in Hoover and getting home late Sunday night after the championship game, it almost took us like 2 days to recover, and then we were on a plane on Wednesday. And team obviously played hard, fought hard, but you'd way rather have it this way. I mean, in little things like my time to scout and prepare, and for all 3 teams, you're using every minute. It's a little easier to do from the comfort of your office, so to speak. The ability to have individual meetings with a player and not worrying about travel logistics or any of those things. I think it's great. And then this team's played very well at home. And I think if you're asking for the most important thing, is this team's played really, really well at home. And I think they're excited to be back here. I mean, we were on the road the last week of the regular season and then on the road for the SEC tournament. So we haven't played here in a while. And so I think they're excited to be here and looking forward to taking advantage of that.
Can you share some more details about the 56-game playoff and what you tell them and how you implement that, and why is that important now that it's not pressure in postseason and that type of thing?
I think it's 2 things. I think the first thing goes back to what I said. It's not a birthright to be in the NCAA tournament. I mean, it's just not. And so you have to make every game important, and you have to play it like a playoff game to position yourself to make the field to host or to be a national seed. They all count the same. I mean, the SEC might be looked at a little bit differently, but all 56, in this case 55, because we had a rain out, count the same. So you start there, and then you hit on the other point is, like, I talk a lot about staying in character, playing in character. When you've treated the season like the postseason, then you don't have to change when you get to the postseason. And it's been a formula for a long time that has helped our teams, and I'm hopeful that it'll help this team.
That's kind of a saving thing, huh?
What's that?
Like, don't make one game bigger than the other. And I know you've read a lot about him.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, there's more eyeballs. There's circumstance, rewards, consequences, but really the game comes down to execution. I mean, in its simplest form, the game comes down to execution, and execution comes from being committed to your plan, having clarity on your plan, and doing that very aggressively. And so that thought helps train you for this, from this round all the way to, hopefully the very, very last game of the season.
So when did you come up with this? How long ago? How did it formulate?
Yeah, I think I had the opportunity to meet, talk to, work for really good coaches, and I've tried to take something from everybody. And when you coach at mid-major schools, you can get forgotten about quickly in terms of bids, and there's not a lot of margin for error. And I was the associate head coach at San Diego. I mean, we played everybody. Texas, Vanderbilt, you name it, we played them. And it was awesome to see how those wins catapulted you into a place where we were a national seed, and we did host a regional. And then, but also, if you didn't take the Tuesday against UC Riverside seriously, it didn't matter that you beat Texas and Hockey Corrido. So it just kind of formulated into they all count, they all matter. And I take a lot of pride in coaching here, that how we play is so important to so many people we're not going to win every game, but I would never want somebody to walk into this stadium and go, man, it's more important to the guys in the third base dugout than the guys in the first base dugout. And that's kind of my way to honor Skip and all those guys that have played here.
Matt Montgomery, the GM here at the box, what's it like working with him when there's a weather situation?
He does a great job. Him and Mark Lee and Dan Gaston have been through this a lot. And I'm not talking just in a regional, but throughout the season. And, I'm always thinking the baseball side of things. And them being really good at forecasting storms, lightning strikes, cells, colors on the Doppler we've never seen before. It really helps make informed decisions. And Matt's done a great job, and he's gotten better in my 4 years here at his job, and very appreciative to the work that he puts in and those other guys as well.
Without getting into your rotation too much, how happy are you with how fresh they are and kind of ready for what's ahead?
Yeah, I think this team has played well when it has its legs underneath them, so to speak, and energy. And, again, like, call me old-fashioned, like, I wanted to play till Sunday in the SEC tournament as a competitor because it's a competition and, to keep developing the team. I think the one benefit is, we lost and we went back and packed and showered and left and got home late Saturday night, which gave them Sunday to recover. Monday we had the celebration of the season with the selection show, got some guys some individual work, and then it almost allowed those guys that have carried a big load 2 days off, and then we got a full week of prepping. So I think being fresh and rested is good. I think being at home, the crowd, postseason, I think the energy will be really high with our team tomorrow.
Any concerns about Zach and Kaysen, or you feel like the side work?
No, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I believe one of you asked me on Monday about this, that everything can be turned into a positive and good, and I think that was one of those things. I wasn't rushing to get them into the game. I feel like I know what I have, and I know what we have, and I know what they're capable of. And 1 week of not throwing, after a week where they also were able to stay under 30 pitches in a series that we won, I think they're going to be primed to pitch really well.
With the depth pieces in the bullpen, what's your confidence level that they can put it all together at the same time, kind of like they did against Ole Miss?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. And I would say this, if Jay Johnson doesn't feel good about his pitching at this point, then nobody in the country should. I feel like those guys are aligned really, really well right now. And Coach Yeski's done a great job, and they've improved, and I think they have confidence. They're throwing their pitches with conviction, and I'm excited to watch them execute this weekend.
Jay, when you hosted the regional here in 23, did you learn anything about hosting a regional here that maybe you didn't know, or was there anything that you learned from it?
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. Yes, 100% yes. When I took the LSU job, the thought was, hey, there's nothing bad about LSU. It's LSU, it's Skip, it's the championships, it's all this. Nobody told me about the weather, which I learned quickly in September or that fall of 21, that it was raining every day at 2 o'clock. But how to navigate that, and you have to be really deliberate in how you line your pitching up. You have to be really deliberate in keeping your team engaged. And this team has had so much experience with delays and stoppages and all of that. I feel like they're prepared to handle that very, very well. And really, really look forward to a weekend with no delays, no stoppages. But that probably was the number one takeaway. The second thing, and probably more important than that, was the impact that the fans have in fueling positive energy into the team and making it difficult on the opponent. And that was a very, very real thing. I remember this was the super regional, not the regional, but Trey Morgan hit a home run in the first. I was like, that's what everybody's been telling me about. That's what everybody's been telling me about, that sound, right there. And I think that was the delayed game. And then the next day, Dylan hit the bases clearing double. It's like, we're going to Omaha. That was the fork, if you will. And just remember hearing that. And I'll be honest, I think it's happened a couple times this season against Arkansas. Arkansas game on Friday night is the one that stands out, where Aiden Jimenez is a great pitcher and hadn't given up anything to anybody out of the bullpen. and all of a sudden we got 2 guys on and got them in to tie the game, and I think they really made a difference there. And then Tennessee, of course, as well. So I think it exceeding or living up to the hype and the expectation of what the fans do here. And I think they're great. I think they're great on a Tuesday night against a non-conference opponent. But that was lived up to the hype, so to speak.
Goosebumps? Does it give you goosebumps?
Excited. I mean, it's just like, Steele's my entire life, and it's built around the NCAA tournament. And, not everybody has what we have. There's 16 teams hosting, which is a great accomplishment, but not all of them have what we have while we're hosting. And I'm very grateful for that.
What goes into a knowledgeable fan base?
Well, I think care level. I think that's the separator for us is the care level. I mean, college baseball at some places is a channel changer. I mean, I have a friend in sports media, high up in sports media, to tell me that. And I was like, come on, man, what are you talking about? Like, it's not a channel changer, and sticking up for it. And it is, it's not important in other parts of the country. It's really important here. And that's why I value my job and carry it with a lot of respect and in high regard, is because there's very few places in the country, maybe like 4 or 5, that are kind of like this. But I don't think anywhere is like this in terms of care level, and it makes it awesome.
Was that jarring for you at first, in terms of like, now there's Joe Schmo in the 3rd row is getting mad at your pitching change in the 7th inning of a midweek game? Like, in terms of it's not just the care, it's also just the knowledge of the team and the game. Was it like, was that jarring at all at first?
Never met Joe, so can't have it both ways. Is my explanation to that. I'll take the 13,000 on their feet, making it difficult on a reliever all day. And what I can promise Joe, as much as he bleeds purple and gold, he doesn't care about the performance of the Tigers as much as Jay Johnson. And I'm very thankful that he's making it hard on those relievers when we have runners on base.
The first game of that Kentucky Super, I think it was delayed like 8-9 hours, and a lot of other places that would have hurt the crowd. I mean, you remember that they were all back in there at 9, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that was a great memory, great night, great weekend, and I think it was good. We have 8 players that I think were on that team still that were a part of that. They're all in different roles than they were on that team. Every single one of them is on a different role than they were on that team. But they know what it's like, and there was a different energy with the team today. Like, it's here, like, and they're normal. They're 18 to 21 years old, and they don't necessarily want to run through Jay Johnson's practice number 157 for the year. They want to get on the field and compete tomorrow, and you could sense that it was here today, and it makes me very happy.
We were just talking with Jared, and we asked him just kind of like X factor guy on this offense, and first guy out of his mouth was Josh Pearson. Just what y'all have done with Pearson, with Fry, with Jake Brown, how just having a full season of that under their belts now, what does that carry into the postseason with those 3 in particular?
Yeah, I trust all of them, and I would throw a few more guys into that mix. Ashton Larson I would put in that mix as well. Dalton Beck, even through limited opportunities. It's an interesting team, and I think I've told the team this for a few weeks. Like, this is wide open. Like, this tournament is wide open, and it's going to come down to who executes their plan and ultimately plays the best. I think we've slotted those guys very well to be successful. I think it maybe a little less position versatility has maybe not allowed us to tap into all of them the way I think they're capable of. But I think we've done a good job of accentuating that, and I think it will play a factor in this tournament. I really do.
Coach, no guarantee we see Little Rock's ace. He's been around for a long time. I think he had a higher ERA than Skeens at 23, which is crazy. What kind of challenge does he present if you do see him?
Yeah, very good pitcher. Yes, he did lead the country in ERA in 2023. That is a fact. I think, in looking at the 2 guys that they're most likely to start, the carrying tool is strike zone pressure, like throws a lot of strikes, and has multiple pitches, has a way so to speak, a template of getting outs, which the best pitchers have that, and then has some adjustability within that. So really good pitcher, threw a great game to open the tournament, and you guys know how that goes sometimes with young people. Like one good game kind of gets you rolling, and he set the tone and did that for them. And then the other guy, Hercules type effort, through a bunch of pitches twice, and picked up 2 of those 5 wins. So credit to their team. And on videotape, it's a team that is more than capable.
Yeah, how do you approach that? Because their record isn't great, right? But their coach has talked about maybe some injuries that have kind of hurt them throughout the season, but they're getting guys back, and obviously they got a lot of belief right now.
Yeah, I think confidence, belief is the most important thing in baseball. A game designed around failure, and anybody that's gone to the mat, been bloodied, punched in the gut, and has the courage to get back up and win a conference tournament, there's definitely something to that. Saw with our team last year, we were going to be a really hard out when you had gone through the struggles and came out the other side and were playing really good baseball. It's hard to kill someone that's already been down, got back up, because they're highly invested in it, and that's how I view this team. And they have good players. Like, they have good players on their team.
How do you cater the game plan against a team that had to win 5 games in 4 days to even get here, and have obviously used a whole bunch of pitching? Like, how do you sort of cater your game plan to a team that's maybe not on fumes, but they're more tired than you?
Yeah, I don't think, just having kind of maybe been in that spot before, been at programs like Little Rock, like the NCAA tournament's the pinnacle, and I don't ever remember going like maybe we were tired, or I would never have used the word flat. Last year's first game against Wofford, after doing that in Hoover, it might have took us a little bit to get going, but we found a way to win the game against a good team, and I don't think energy for any team tomorrow will be a problem. I think if I was to say, how does it help us, maybe, when you're in a win-or-go-home mode, you find out who they really trust on the mound, and it can help you kind of zero in on those guys.
Jay Johnson was up here a second ago talking about his freshman year, maybe being a little too modest. He said, I didn't play that much, but he did hit a lot of home runs that year. But how much has he changed and cleaned some things up from that?
Yeah.
Now going into this.
Yeah, and we wouldn't have been in the position we were to host and win a national championship, without Jared. I think he was a guy that was in a situation where I had to make a hard decision of what was best for that team, and structure things a little bit differently, both defensively and offensively, with the supporting cast. And it's a different supporting cast this year than that year. So there's different needs for the team. So I think he's underselling the value he had on that team, and he's a humble guy. That doesn't surprise me. I think that would be part of his maturity, his humility. I've talked a lot about it from a baseball standpoint. He's an excellent defensive first baseman. I think it's one of the more underrated parts of his game is his ability to handle himself around the bag at first. I think offensively, he showed the talent and the tools and the power, obviously right away. Expanded the zone a little bit too much as a freshman, got that under control, and did a better job with that last year. The on base, really spiked up, and then then it became about contact on pitches in the zone, and I think he's improved both the plate discipline and that now, and he's had a really good career. Yeah, I think some guys like Jared get underappreciated sometimes. We had 2 of the best hitters ever in college baseball, not just at LSU, during his time here. But if you look up statistically and something about it, his 3rd or 4th in home runs of all time at LSU, like, it's a lot to be proud of. And, he's an important person to me. He's been a very important person to our program. I'm very thankful that he came back this year. Could have signed it. He chose a lower value for himself, and feel really good about where he's at mentally going into this postseason.
It seems like Ethan Fry's getting a little bit more buzz from the Major League world too. He's popping up on some of these lists. The scouts seem pretty interested in him. Do you think that's just due, and people are always underrating a guy like that? So I guess what's your sort of reaction to that maybe now becoming a possibility for him after this year?
Yeah, I don't have any just because I haven't looked at a lot of that. Once we go into with the draft being later, you kind of have time to sort some of those things out. Logistically, how it matters. I mean, I always believed he was a great player. You know, the situation with the type of team he was on and the injury, maybe others, not Jay Johnson, have been a little slower to come around on that. So doesn't really surprise me.
Coach, how do you balance making sure you take care of business here, but also setting yourself up for the next stage? Because it's not a sprint, it's a marathon this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's about now. I mean, we're with 2 conference tournament champions, if I'm correct, and 2 of these teams won the regular season championship also. So we're only playing championship teams. So I haven't given any thought about moving forward at all. You know, it's about this weekend and putting together, 72 to 96 hours, whatever's required of playing in our best character. And, if you're playing next week, that means you found a way. And even if you're not set up perfectly or whatever, there's still a way.
Jacob Myers has had really 2 good outings back-to-back, topped out at 101. What have you seen from him?
I'm really proud of him. I had high hopes when we brought him here. He showed a lot of glimpses in the fall and in the early season about what could be, and just kind of kept persevering, kept working. He's pounding the zone, and he's just not easy to hit. I bet he's one of the first players from this draft that makes it to the major leagues. He'll be within one of the first 10 players in this draft that makes it to the major league. So that should tell you I have a lot of faith in what I think he can do for us right now.
Does he have starter caliber stuff?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think for one look, one time through the order, though, I think somebody's going to grab onto that quickly and elevate him fast. And I think this year, at least something I look at, you can't teach what he can do with the ball, but I like guys where things haven't always gone perfect, even though they have that ability and have come out the other side. That would give me, if I'm a pro team, a lot of hope. Like there's something internal in this guy that's better than other guys, and he's shown that, and he'll be out there for sure.
Any late night texts from Derek this week?
I'd have to think about that. It's been pretty busy, like the 3 teams in 1 week deal. He had a great day yesterday, practice yesterday. I think that the rest obviously helped him. We got some things done in the cages that were really positive, and saw a lot of what I saw yesterday, today, and just trust the person, trust the competitor.
Do you have many players who just openly reach out to you like that about hitting advice the way he has?
Yeah, 100%. I just say he's baseball through and through and super engaged. We've tried to it's not marketing because we're not putting it out there, but internally when you talk about culture, build what we've called a lights on culture. We installed the keypad. They can come in anytime they want. They know how to turn the lights on the stadium. Accessibility to the cages, a work on your own thing, because with the NCAA rules and 20 hours a week, sometimes it's not enough for guys that are eaten up with baseball, or it's their dream to be a longtime major leaguer, and that's certainly his. So they have to have the access and the willingness to put in the work. And, we've had a lot of them like that, and when I hire staff, it's it's about being present, at least while the players are here. You know what I mean? December, you can do stuff from home. Summer, we're out recruiting. But while the players are here, we're here, to feed into that.
Do you know when you're recruiting a kid out of high school, do you know that he's he has that, he's a quote-unquote lights on guy?
You do as much research, homework as you can. I think in his case, I think it's part of his DNA and what makes him special. Dylan was very much like that. Braden Jobert, very much like that. Hitters that you see hit well often, they typically hit often. And he fits into that category.
Do you know Little Rock's coach?
I don't. No, I don't know Coach Curry at all.
Thanks.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Coach.